worse, and all you could do is let it go and forgive it all. You never really should take it personal. Sometimes being a person is a curse when all of that shit that comes with it just gets worse, and all you could do is let it go, let it go. The train is already running on the wrong track. The personality formed a long way back, and it's hard to redirect it when infected.
So the song is Wookiefoot, Let Yourself Go. Let yourself go. And I have. This week has been really challenging. Hello, welcome. Thanks for joining. This week's been challenging because, well, a myriad of reasons, but really just the art of letting go and trusting the intuition and taking right action, acting accordingly. And it's a little difficult sometimes for me. I don't know about you, but me. But anyways, that's not the point of this message. The point of this message is, well, yeah, let yourself off the hook. But here's the thing. This is what's coming through. I have a filter on. Here's the thing. We're here to bring them magic. Okay? So this world of mundane darkness, reality, blah, bullshit, we've planted our seeds here. We planted ourselves here to bring magic back into the mundane. And it is just mind-boggling how difficult it is for people to accept the unknown, the magic, the mystical, right? And then it's so beautiful to see those that have fully fucking embraced it. Kudos to you, because you really do have to be a little delulu to imagine a world that you're not actually in and live as if it exists. Because it does exist, because it exists within you. Had you not felt it within you, it would not be able to, it wouldn't exist. Everything is in us. And so I feel like right now I'm in like this beautiful little fairyland out here where I live. I'm about to go lay in the sun and be by some fresh water because the beaches are packed and I'm not going to the beach today. Happy 4th of July and that freedom. So we have the freedom of imagination, and that is the gift that God has given us all, right? Is imagination. And through a lot of bullshit in the world, we lose that sense of imagination. We stuff it down and we forget to play. And I feel so deeply inclined to say, go play. Try to not take it so fucking serious, and remember that magic, that mystical, like, I teach esoteric ascension, essentially. Okay, so I'm an esoteric Christian minister. And so I use the Bible, I use the Gene Keys Bible, but I use the Bible and its teachings in a very different way. I see it from the esoteric rites of initiation. And in reality, the human, from my experience, my personal fucking lived experience through these studies, through my lived embodiment and activation of these codexes unlocking in me. We are humans. We are the creation of God, and yet we had to start from the lowest form, which is the mineral kingdom. And in that mineral kingdom, which is, by the way, we're integrating the mineral, the animal, the vegetable, and the man consciousness, those four pillars, okay, into the ultimate expression, which is the embodied angelic human. You could say we're returning to the angelic human, because that was our state before we fell into a sense of separation from totality, from God, from all creation, which has taken eons to happen, because that's the whole point. If we're just a spark of light, of divinity, here having multitudes of experiences. That's what it is. But intimately and honestly, this mineral kingdom, the Deva kingdom, the floral, the flower essence, the fluorescence of Gaia, okay, her essence, right? We're all little flowers here. We're all fairies, elves, we're all just different aspects of the mineral kingdom. And we came up through this, whether it was earth, air, fire, water, or ether, or all of it, right? We embody those codes. And that's the magic. Like, that's the stardust in its most dense form, I guess you could say, expressing itself here on the earthly realm to play. And that's what we're here for. We're here to create magic in this less than magical consciousness construct that's been developed by all of the fear-based emotions, sensations that have been lingering in the astral and mental planes. And honestly, that's what the reign of Satan is, that short period, because we're at the end of times, the end times, not the second coming of Christ, but the absolute end. All right. And that's why we're experiencing all of the separation, artificial intelligence, all of this stuff, because we have to embrace it. You got to walk through your fear in order to face it. And that's what we've done. And I feel like the next step, at least for me, what I'm coming to, is bringing more play and more magic to my life. I guess falling in love with life again and all that it has, which I haven't ever not fallen in love with life, but I'm just saying even more so. So the message is, remember that your imagination, your ability to see beyond the box, to experience beyond the cube, the box, the cube, and what is, and to imagine, like, that's the return of innocence. That's the angelic consciousness, is knowing that we are intimately the children of God. And this world is our playground. And we are here to play, not to be slaves, not to be anything less than what we choose to express ourselves as. And you got to live in it. Like, no matter how many naysayers come into your reality, just be that child, be that innocent, playful, imaginative being that you are. Take time and daydream. Allow for your dreams to manifest in reality, and don't second guess it. And if it takes longer, that's okay. You're working through it. It's a ladder. You're climbing the ladder. And it's essentially grace descending down and your faith rising up. And then they meet together, and then that's when it blooms in your reality. And you'll get little pieces of your manifestation. They show up in other people that want to play with you, that believe in you, that support you, and you support them. It's dancing under the moon, to music, and living as if you're in a little rave in a backyard. I did that this weekend, or whatever, this week. I don't know, whatever. It's a blur to me. I don't live in time. I'm timeless. Yeah. So with the 4th of July in America, right? This is about celebrating independence and freedom. I brought through amazing transmission on Patreon yesterday. That's not really for everybody. You got to have a certain caliber to even comprehend half the shit that I'm saying, to be honest. Especially in the Patreon, because I don't slow down for nobody. But essentially, this is a time where a group of us have taken on the Christ consciousness, and just, it's beautiful. All of the codes, like where Venus is at in the codon ring of trials, it's the codon ring of secrets. It is a secret initiation. It is the final initiation. It is the absorption aspect. And I love that Venus is there because she's about creative expression, balance and harmony, which again, she is a fifth ray energy. So it deals with geometries, sound, frequency, music, rhythm. And it's like a restoration of the natural harmonics in the blueprinting of your in the blueprint of humanity, because it's in a cosmic scale, okay? But if you're not at that level, I'm not here to push you or make you feel like you're any less, because it's a process. Everybody has a process. And just because one being is at a certain initiation, it doesn't mean all beings that are a certain initiation. And the purpose of the codon ring of trials, you know, it is to make sure that you are devout, right, in your belief in God the creator, okay, not in the religious biblical ideal that's been propagated. You'll hear me talk about God. I don't have a problem with the word God. I have my own connection to God and my own understanding of what God represents, which is the almighty totality of all life, okay? It's in everything. And but the spirit that guides us, you know, that's our intimate connection to God. That's my perspective. You don't have to align with that. But these trials and challenges, you know, this is about, you know, there's 3 of them. These are known as stop codons in the DNA. And your DNA won't create a new amino acid or protein chains if you get the stop codon in there. If you don't pass go, you don't collect $200 in the Monopoly game, essentially, right? Okay. And so these are themes of like forgetfulness, distraction, and vanity. Now, vanity is the last one. That's Gene Key 12. It is the final test in the trials, okay? And whenever you get there to the 12, which is where Venus is at, and if you're in that level of initiation into your own godhood, and the full restoration of your genetic templating. So when you go through this ring of secrets, Gene Key 12's programming partner is Gene Key 11, which is the codon of light. This is in Sagittarius, and this allows for the pure universal light, the noble gases, consciousness to flood your body. And if you watched the Bruce Lipton video that I put up in my stories the other day, you know, he's talking about how noble gases, they don't need any other they don't need any other protons, they don't need anything else. They're good on their own. They're stable. So whereas atoms need other atoms to create stability. And so when you ascend through the 12th, the ring of trials, the ring of secrets, the 12th, the ring of secrets, it unlocks the noble gases within your genome. And this makes you an independent Merkaba, essentially. Okay? And with Jupiter and Gene Key 2, which is unity consciousness, it is the Taurus. It is in Taurus. It is the toroidal field. It is the key of the prime yin energy, prime creation. So it is essentially showing us, or in the cosmic codex, that there is potential to access these codes, right? Jupiter is expanding us collectively through the separation, it's called the shadow of dislocation. To be dislocated, to be, you know, separate, essentially, back into unity consciousness. And that doesn't mean that everybody is your friend and we love everybody kind of mentality. That would be stupid, because that would make you naive and that would make you easily manipulatable. And whenever you're on this path of adepthood, or rites of passage into higher states of embodied God consciousness and inevitably becoming the Godhead within the body, within, okay? You don't get it, you don't make it far in your journey if you're love light and fucking clueless, because then you're manipulatable. And if you're always living in your heart, where it's like, oh, live in your heart, that's great, yes, live in your heart, but live with wisdom. Live with wisdom, and wisdom is knowledge and action, okay? And if you're not adhering to the lessons of boundaries, of, you know, being mindful, again, that's where that's one of the keys on one of the stop codons on the ring of trials, which is gene key 33. It's the shadow of forgetting, okay? And so the gift of mindfulness. So we have to be fucking mindful of the tribulations and challenges that we've experienced. If we're not, then we'll continue to loop into Lulu land, okay? And with Neptune in retrograde right now, she's, you know, this is the planet that's holding the 6th ray, which is the Christ ray. And this is the ray of compassion, of nurturance, of the mother. But it's also the ray of innocence, spirit, right? And play. And this is where people have often talked about, you know, Neptune, if you have this or that, it's with Neptune, you're going to be in delusion. This whole fucking reality we live in is a goddamn delusion. It's an illusion of separation, that we could ever be separate from God, the creator, the infinite, the all, ever. And that limitation is a delusion. That what we see is what we get is a fucking delusion. Because we know that what you see is not necessarily what you get, because we've dealt with people that wear masks, facades. They show up as one thing and they're truly another. Ayo to those that have, you know, encountered psychopaths, you know, narcissists, mean girls, all right, users, abusers, right, teachers that are supposed to be teachers, but they're, you know, at the same time trying to put their fingers in your panties. You understand what I'm saying? And calling that, oh, it's trying to help them attain an orgasm. No, it's disgusting. It's diabolical. You're a psychopath. Okay, so we understand through the dualistic experience that we've had here that we don't always get what we see. And it takes a mature being, spiritually and emotionally mature being, to apply realism, practicality to their life, and to create, you know, awareness around what is and what isn't. And that's where we have to really deepen our connection to God and to our intuition, so that we're not tripping over our shoelaces because of our heart strings. Your heart is beautiful, but your heart can be abused. So if you're always just living from the heart, it's not very smart. It's delusional, actually. And that is a delusion. And not to say that we aren't heart-based, heart-centered, but most of the time, doing what's good for you, truly good for you, doesn't feel good. It doesn't always feel good to do what's truly best for you, to live your most authentic expression. Because you don't know what's going on in other people's head. You don't know what other people are thinking and wishing upon you. You don't know. And you have to trust. You have to trust. And they may not even understand what they're doing because of the thoughts that they have. People allow demons to live and attach to them. Just meaning lower energetic spirits attached to them that are implanting, you know, thoughts. And these people are thinking it, which is witchcraft. You know, if you're thinking negatively of other people, or I want this, what they have, and da-da-da-da-da, or they're better, or you're projecting and casting demons, demonic energies into other people's fields. So I don't know, that's maybe for some people, might not be for everybody on that one. But it is beautiful to live from your heart and to play. But even a child is told by their parents, don't go up to strangers, don't take candy from strangers, and don't get into other people's cars that you don't know. As a child. So apply that as an adult, right? A child does just want everybody as a friend, but we have to be realistic in understanding that not everybody is pure-hearted. And this is the 12. It is the city of purity. So that pure heart, it is a pure heart. It's understanding, it's forgiving, it's compassionate, but it's wise. It's realistic in that essence of not all are where I am, okay? They are on their journey, but they may not be there yet. So it's kind of like having a car instead of having a minivan. Few people get to ride in the car, okay? Whereas like more people can load into a minivan or a bus. And when you have a pure heart, when God's hand is placed upon you, the gifts that are coming into your energy field are not for everybody, because not everybody has been refined in the ways in which you have, and the intent in which you operate. So boundary up, be mindful, don't forget, that just because you are one way doesn't mean everybody else is. Okay? And again, you're here to birth magic, or what seems to be considered impossible, into a world that has been riddled with limitations, which does seem like an impossible task. But that's why your faith, your devotion, your perseverance are so important. And to tap into God's plan, the greater plan, the divine plan that's unfolding. You came here because God said that you have the heart of God's warriors, ones that seek the real beauty in life, the magic, the mystical, the simplicity as well in what is, knowing we could talk to the trees and hear the birds. We're adept, like through the descent of our consciousness into the lowest state, which is the Saturn, the root chakra, the fear. Before, in previous ages, we were well aware of how music lifts the spirit. Even though we're living in a world where the music's been tainted, we still know that music lifts our spirit. It can either lift us or it can bring us down, depending on the music. And we are the walking magical, nature's original magical instruments, the nomis, right? The nomi codes walking around here. We are nature's magical instruments. We vibrate the songs of life. I love that. Beautiful. Thank you for sharing. We vibrate the songs of our hearts. And whenever your heart is purified and you're radiating the light, the unobscured light from the cosmos, from beyond our 7 chakras, beyond our localized auric field, and we're connected into the morphogenetic chakras, the subtle bodies, spirit bodies, right? And we're pulling from the atmospheric noble gases, right? Which you could consider anything beyond the 8th chakra, descending that, like pulling that in and radiating that out. We're so magnetic. And if you're attached to beings that do not value you, do not have the same purity, then your blessings don't come in. because God wants to make it that way. You're whoever you're connected with, because you are contagious. Your magnetism is contagious, essentially. And so these tests are refining us in many ways. One, to see if you'll listen. Two, to see if you're going to hold up the boundaries. To understand your worth, your value, your purity, your light. And then when that magnetism, when the divine plan unlocks for you, when you return to your God code, okay, your original template, the original blueprint, that's when the magic starts to, like truly in the largest scale, not just like little synchronicities. I mean, the totality of magic shows up, and you start walking in a whole different holographic reality. That is because your sanskaras or karmas or miasms in your DNA, your ancestral memory, okay, has been burned, okay, has been burned out, and you are washed clean of all of your ancestral hardship, and you get the original source code templating active in your energy, okay? And there's a process here. Like it can be instantaneous for some, but for the majority of us it's not, because this is a collective group experience. And so there's a process, and you're only as strong as your weakest link, essentially. So even though one may initiate it, it has a ripple effect. And when it gets to the final, I guess you will, weakest link, and it activates within their field, and then that's when the boom, boom, the domino effect happens. At least from my perceptual awareness. Now that would be like you start out on your miraculous life, you get your sanskaras cleared, and you start bobbing in a whole new reality. And then others and others and others and others and others. And then when that happens, and it becomes a collective wipe, a clean slate, a new beginning. And again, like, this is such a layered experience. And this is what I teach. This is what I talk about. This is what I've been talking about and teaching or expressing my entire journey since my awakening happened. And it is the path of the mystic, essentially. And so this song, and we're all going to sing a new song. So this activation, this embodiment comes from, yes, being in the innocence and the purity of a child, but having the spiritual and emotional maturity of a devotee, not a floozy, not a whimsical, whatever, I don't want to say anything mean. Yes, it's good to be whimsical, but you got, like, it's spiritual adeptness. And I have to vastly disagree with somebody that I came across their video the other day talking about how there isn't a young soul and an old soul. Yes, there fucking is. It's a depthhood. It's a depthhood. It is about incarnations. And at least in this 3D physical reality, in this experience on Earth, it is, because you have to go through many incarnations in order to gain soul wisdom. Essentially, if you don't understand, like, we're on the causal plane of a cosmic being, and the causal plane is the heart. It is the fourth dimension, and the heart was broken and shattered into pieces, and the consciousness of the heart descended lower into the solar plexus, which is our solar system, okay, which is what we're ascending, is our solar plexus, back into the God consciousness and out of the independent, individualized I am through the collective soul. And we're the collective soul. We're the consciousness of a soul, and is an individuated aspect of the Almighty. And so you have to build your individuated soul. And then whenever you get to a certain process and your embodiment of your Christhood, okay, the soul refuses to incarnate anymore, and it absorbs back into the oneness, into the void, back into the Godhead. Okay, and that's what humanity is. And so we are the collective soul. And this last part that we're at with descending our consciousness, our soul, our individuated experiences, our fractaled self, into the lowest form, density of the physical 3D human experience, where light is barely pulsating, where light is barely found flickering in coals in people. And you see this around us. And that's what the descent into Satan in the Bible talks about. When we descend into, or Satan rules for a short period, that's when the collective soul has descended so far from the heart. But it's also where we slingshot back up. We have to integrate and step into the fear, face it, integrate it, transform it. And that allows for the densest minerals within us, most primal aspects of us, to burn in the fires of our hell, the purification, the cosmic fires, the process of purification. So don't tell me or try to sit there and talk about that there isn't an old soul and a young soul. There is. There's adepts, and then there's initiates, and then there's masters. Purely, it's not hierarchical, but there is. It's just like a rung on a ladder. You've got to have ladders. You got to have steps on a ladder. Not everybody's going to be at the same place on the ladder, and that's okay. It's not about superiority. It's about everybody working in harmony, the synarchy that is beneath everything. There's a heterarchy. Heterarchy and hierarchy are different, but there's still hierarchy and heterarchy. But the synarchy is the sweet buzzing of everything working in divine order, what we call synchronicity. That is God at all times. What seems like it shouldn't be is exactly as it is and should be. But in the hierarchy, there's an understanding of a horizontal experience. I'm not above you or below you. We are working in parallel, but in different reality, different expressions, different experiences, different knowledge, different wisdoms, different teachings. But the hierarchy is understanding that there is still a role for everybody to play. The hierarchy of that is understanding that God has put natural leaders into positions to guide, not to control, not to dominate, not to manipulate, not to say that I'm better than you, but that soul has had more experience and doesn't come from a place of dominance, of control and manipulation, but a place of purity. So in reality, all of them work together as it should be. But that's the matriarchy, understanding that. Because the female energetics understand this, especially once one has moved into a role of motherhood, be it by birth, by adoption, by marriage, or by raising your own siblings or cousins or whatever. Once a woman has stepped into the role of maternalhood, there is not all of them. I can't say all of them because I understand the dynamics of the broken mother as well. And one can only do what one can do. But there is something that switches in a woman. And these are inner understandings, nurturance, guidance, protection, being aware of, what child can do what, and what you understand. It's true guidance is the mother. And that's why Jupiter and Gene Key 2 is so important right now, because Jupiter is expanding the collective spiritual knowledge, because, you know, Jupiter is the great teacher. And in Taurus, Taurus is a fifth ray planet. Constellation. Planet Jupiter. Jupiter's a second ray, which is loving wisdom, which is the heart. But Taurus is about, you know, geometry, earth mechanics, the mechanics of nature. And the mechanics of nature are sound harmonics. It's cymatics. And how that song forms, how those sounds form, how things taste, how they come to fruition. It's fruiting. And, you know, how things take time to grow and nurture in the earth. It is very maternal. You know, it's not about the oxen pulling the disc to plow the earth. Yes, but not really. That is a representation of going through the hardships and continuing to persevere. Perseverance, determination, things that are worth having, take time and effort. That's that representation. But it is about the earth and what fruit it bears, which is all life. The heart bears all life. That's what the earth is. That's what nature is. It bears all life. It's the cosmic heart center of the cosmic being. But even then, there comes a point where that heart, the toroidal field in this chakra collapses. The causal plane, it's called the refusal. It's the 9th initiation, planetary initiation, and personal initiation. And this refusal is when the heart goes supernova. And that rainbow body, all chakras, coalesce into one. And that's what the 7th, the 7th root race is. It is the totality of all of the 7 chakras in one. And that's the angelic human. That's the silica-based being. That's when we return to the angelic hierarchy, which humanity descended from. And that ends the human evolution, which is to evolve the mind of man, which is animalistic, part of the vegetable kingdom, the mineral kingdom. Anyway, so this heart supernova is that refusal in the rainbow body and becoming an independent Merkaba. Like the toroidal field, the heart field, the earth plane will go supernova at one point. And that's divine justice. That's the 60th gene key. Now, I'm not saying that's happening instantaneously right now, but it is happening. That's the aspect of bringing the divine plan into fruition. Our ancient versions of ourselves didn't write all of this beautiful esoteric material for no fucking reason. We didn't leave the signs, we didn't leave the scrolls, we didn't leave the buildings for no reason. It was, you got to understand, like if you have dormant DNA, okay, in your body, then there's dormant DNA on the plane held in forms and structures just waiting to be seen and activated. That's why the most peril thing that you can do on your journey is to witness yourself, to become mindful. Jinky 33. Which leads to revelations. It's Siddhic state. That being mindful of your reality and the people and your emotional reaction or non-reaction or your repression to experiences that you've had, felt, and endured. When you're mindful, you're playing witness to it and you're contemplative of what that represents, then it brings to us revelations. So when we have been told, whether we believe it or not, that the earth is flat, it's a hologram, it's a holographic projected biospiritual feedback system, if we just shun it away, then we're being forgetful, because these are space holders. You know, they're, even when you see a cathedral with bells that are ding dong, whoa, 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 all these things, and then you're like, oh yeah, I've heard about these being, you know, sacred temples that would help heal people. You know, you go to the church and the songs would be sung, the organ piano would be playing, the choir would be singing, and the halls would echo with perfection of, you know, harmonic balance built into the structures themselves. And when you adhere to, oh yeah, these were cymatics, and to help, you know, they were built into, you know, harmonic structures to heal us through cymatic frequencies, through Hertz frequencies to heal the body. And then you go, well, you know, they're just nice buildings, you blow it off. Then you're going to continue to block yourself from growth, because the world around us is not actually what we've been taught and told it to be. And so my message here today is, be mindful. Allow for your resistance to be your teacher and lean into it instead of running from it, because true mastery means that your life gets very uncomfortable. Very uncomfortable. But your purpose here is magic. You're here to remind people of the magic that is within us, that has been dormant, has been latent, has been sleeping, right? We are the sleeping dragons, the dragon in the genome. I can't even remember what gene key that is off the top of my fucking head right now. The dragon in the genome. Carry on. It'll come to me later. Obviously not right now. But it's the dragon in the genome. We are the aurora dragons. We are the rainbow of light. We are the fully embodied human of light, of celestial angelic birth, meaning our consciousness, our essence, okay, our light, our spark, either came from the throne of God at the center of all creation, or it has descended from the stars and the stellar consciousness, which are God's higher imagination realities. It's still in God, okay? It's still in God, but it's in God's subtle bodies, where we've been experiencing this physical, right? Where some people are earth souls, their first incarnation was on earth. Others have incarnations in the spirit bodies of God. Those are the stellar consciousness. Some people, you know, they reside from the Buddhic plane, or the atomic body, or the monadic body. The planes, these are planes, dimensions of God's imagination projected into some form of expression, either physical, semi-etheric, or ethereal. Yeah. That's beautiful. I love that for you. I love that for you. A dragon. So, the dragon consciousness is oh my God. Eagles, 1, 2, 3. Holy shit. No way. 3 fucking eagles? What? 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 Holy shit. Oh my God. Can you guys see that out that door? No. Wow. Confirmation. So, be the motherfucking magic in this reality. Don't dim your light. Dance, sing, Embrace the beauty and the creative potential that you are. You came here for that. You came here for this reason. Yeah. All right. Allow yourself to ask yourself this question: what would I be doing if money wasn't an obstacle? And also, if it is, go inward and figure it the fuck out why you think money, you're not worthy of being a rich bitch. You know, of like rich, financially rich. Like, go in there and fight your fucking ancestors and say, why the fuck do you think you need to live in poverty? Why do you expect less? Because money shouldn't be a fucking obstacle for any of us. It's our goddamn energy. So maybe figure the fuck out why your energy is being siphoned. And I almost guarantee you it's because the fucking people that you have in your fucking reality holding your ass back, because their limitations become your limitations. And when you're done limiting yourself and you're ready to fully fucking fly and be the magnetic essence of creation that you are, you gotta let go of all the limitations. Yeah. Yeah. Yes. And if that means your husband, goodbye. If that means your boyfriend, goodbye. If that means your best friend of 20 years, goodbye. It doesn't fucking matter about your human story. People fucking stay attached to these goddamn relationships, clinging on to it like it's actually doing them any good. It's not. It's not. It's not. You're not here to live out the Muggle American dream. You're here for more. And the quicker you realize that, the better your life becomes. And the more you give yourself permission to live that, the faster it shows up in your life. You don't have to struggle. I mean, for a little bit you do. Okay, yeah. You do gotta struggle a little bit, a lot of it, as you work through your ancestral shit. But if you're going inward and you're figuring the shit out and you're understanding why, it gives you the growth that you need. And then you could just realize that you are God's divine child. And God, the Father, wants to bless you. He wants to spoil his children. But the idea that you're unworthy, that you're not valuable. Uh-oh. My phone says it's hot. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Why is it so hot? It's hot though. Well, anyways, I'm going to let my phone cool off. You're tearing up. I love you. And just accept your divinity. You're worthy. You're magic. That's why you came here. Okay? And if you don't know what you're working through, I got sessions. I got sessions open. I'll help you. I'll hook it the fuck up. Book a session with me. A one-on-one. Figure it out. We'll figure it the fuck out. We channel through. I got you, boo. It's what I do. I'm amazing at what I do. You really don't need more than one fucking session with me. Unless it's the mind that you're working through, then yeah, I got you. I'm a Raja Yoga fucking master.